Hi friends, let's talk about how to choose natural fibers for your wardrobe. So there's a lot of misinformation about this topic. Like, so many people have different opinions and there's a lot going on here. So let's break it down a little bit. I've decided to switch my wardrobe over to natural fibers starting since like September, and I want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm doing this for my hormone health, my health in general, the health of the people around me, and the environment, because there's a lot of junk that goes into these fabrics, I'll tell ya. Making people sick here. I've seen many people in my personal family that have had horrible health issues, not specifically to do with clothing, maybe it had a piece of it, but I'm trying to take control into my hands and change anything I can to be non-toxic in my life, because I don't want to have a chronic illness. Like, I feel for anybody out there that does. So let's talk about the different fabrics, the dyes, and the certifications you should be looking out for, and let's get into it. So let's talk about fabrics. This is probably the number one part that we are focusing on here. Fabrics is what makes our clothes what they are, and yeah. So I am working on natural fibers. So we're looking at 100% organic cotton, linen, hemp, wool, angora, silk, cashmere, those kinds of fabrics. I only said organic cotton in this list because conventional cotton is sprayed with pesticides, and if you're buying a piece new, then it's going to have pesticides on it. It's different if it's been washed like 1,000 times from a thrift store. There might not be as many pesticides on it. Still a possibility. It's still a skin irritant, a health hazard. So these fabrics are breathable, they're hypoallergenic, they're free from harmful chemicals, and they're better for the environment. They don't use as many resources. We are avoiding synthetic fibers and semi-synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers include polyester, elastane, spandex, nylon, acrylic. I guess acrylic is like the number one bad one. These are made from petroleum, so they are essentially plastic. And when you wear them, they release microplastics into the air. When you wash them in your washer, they release microplastics into the water. We are breathing this in. We are drinking it. We are showering with it. It's everywhere. There are crazy statistics about the amount of synthetic fibers that are being made since like 2013. And then semi-synthetic fibers include things like rayon, bamboo, viscose, tencel. I am personally avoiding these because it is wood pulp, like it is a plant, but it is heavily processed and soaked in chemicals, and it harms the people that make them. It harms the people that are wearing them sometimes, and I just don't trust it. So I am kind of staying away from any of that. It is stretchy. It is probably your best bet for like the closest thing to like a yoga pant, like a polyester yoga pant, but it still has its downsides. So let's talk about the dyes in our clothes. What makes the color of the clothing? Unfortunately, it is kind of hard to find clothes like in a mall or in a conventional store that is not dyed with harsh chemicals like azo dyes. So if a piece of clothing is very colorful, that most likely means it's toxic, unfortunately. Azo dyes are like a bunch of heavy metals, a bunch of chemicals, and it's put into the solution and our clothes soak in it. And then once it's on our skin, it can harm our skin. It could penetrate into our skin and lead to health problems. It's also horrible for the environment. A lot of our clothes are made in foreign countries and it pollutes their drinking water and they're heavily affected by it. So unfortunately, I'm going to say avoid colorful clothing as much as you can. So it's going to be kind of hard to find what clothes are dyed with, especially if you're going to thrift stores. We're looking for like natural dyes, like dyed from plants, clay-based. If the dye is GOTS certified, it might say that. Or even just undyed fabrics like beige, white, those kinds of colors. Like, those are going to be your safest bets if you don't want harsh chemicals in your clothing and you can't find out what it is dyed with. So just make sure to check the product descriptions if there is one, like online, on an online store, and see what it's dyed with. That'll tell you a lot about the piece and how much they care. Let's talk about the certifications that we want to see on the clothing that we're wearing. We're looking for the GOTS certification. This one covers both dyes and the fabric. My brain went away for a second. It's supposed to be made ethically and sustainably, so this is a big one. We want to see OEKO-TEX standard. This is a test for harmful substances in fabric. I've heard some controversial things about this. Like if you read the book To Die For, really recommend this book. They talk about a lot of this stuff, so go check that out. Bluesign is for the dye, and Cradle to Cradle Standard is another one. I haven't seen this one anywhere, but I keep seeing it mentioned places. It says that it ensures that the piece is non-toxic. So these certifications matter because without them, we can't fully trust what is in the piece of fabric. It's really difficult to find good clothes. Like trying to find brands to recommend you guys, it's been difficult. Let's talk about tips to transition your wardrobe to natural fibers. So the first place to start is in your own closet. This is what I did. Just go through your whole closet, read each label, see what's in your clothing. Go back to earlier when I talked about what fabrics to choose and what to avoid. Separate the fabrics in your closet or wherever your clothes are. Put synthetic and semi-synthetic fibers on one side, natural fibers on the other, and see what you're working with. I personally didn't have much left, so right now I'm living off of my small amount of natural fibers, which is totally fine. I kept all the cotton. That was like pretty much the only clothes that I had that weren't synthetic fibers. Like I didn't have any organic cotton in my closet, so you're not alone here. I would then go to your thrift stores and search what they got. Remember, the bright colored clothing might be very toxic to our skin, but just check each tag, read it. Maybe it has the brand name on it. You can search it. This is going to be a long process. Like you can't go to the thrift store and think you're going to get a whole new wardrobe like you did in the past. You're gonna have to read each label, and hopefully if it's organic cotton, it fits you. It's a struggle. I would then check locally. I live in a good spot for this, I think, because I live in kind of like a little hippie town. This would be a good place to check if there's any like natural dyed clothing, but it could be really expensive, so warning. And then I would recommend you to check online stores. I'll give you a list in a second, but this is going to be the best place to know what is in the fabric and what you are buying, minus Amazon. If you've seen any of my TikTok videos, you know me and Amazon have a beef with fabric. I've ordered many things that say it's 100% organic cotton, and then I get it and it's not. So warning to Amazon, go to other places. Support other businesses. There are places like Pact, Cotton, KOTN, Organic Basics, Mate the Label, Quince, Just Wear Cotton, Aya Eco, Fair Indigo. Some of these are not fully GOTS certified yet. I'm hoping that they get there eventually, but most of this is organic cotton. You do have to check the description of each piece because some of them aren't fully organic cotton. Some of them have a little bit of a spandex in it, elastane to make it stretchy. So just make sure when you're looking at the description that it says 100%. So that is an overview, a quick overview of fabrics, dyes, certifications, and how to start this process. It's going to be the long haul process. Like this is not something that's going to take like a day of going to the mall and redoing your whole closet. This is going to be getting a piece here and there that hopefully means a lot to you because it took you longer to find, and hopefully it'll stay in your closet for years and years and years. There's so much fast fashion out there that we're just buying, wearing it once, and getting rid of it, and then it sits in a landfill for 200 years. So please let me know your favorite non-toxic clothing brands in the description below. We do also need to have a whole conversation about blankets, bedding, towels, you name it. We'll do that in the future. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more like this, and I'll talk to you next week.